Hello everyone, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Really. For those of you who are here for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe on the box down below. And for those of you that have been around all this while, I thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Today we are going to learn 5 different reasons why it is very important to give. So, without wasting much of your time, let's get into it. The first reason why it is very important to give is because God says so. If you are truly a child of God, if you truly love your God, you will give out of instruction. If you remember in the Bible, we read the story of Cain and Abel, of how God instructed them to give all that they had to give their prophets, things that they received from their harvest. God wanted to taste their hearts, and He wanted to see how well would they be able to follow that instruction. So to you as well, God is instructing you to give. So if there should be a number one reason as to why you should give, it should be that because God says so. The second reason as to why it is very important for us to give, it's because of obedience. Give because of obedience. Number one, I said we need to give because God says so. And when you do what God says, you are obeying to His word. You are obeying what He asked you to do. So it is very important for you and I to give out of obedience, obeying God's will, obeying God's instruction. Whenever a child does what his father expects him to do, a father is placed in him, and the father is able to give him even more. So when you give out of obedience, God is able to bless you. He will make sure that you never, ever lack. Number 3, it will be because of humility and reliance. You humble yourself before the Lord and you show Him that you rely on Him for everything. Everything that you have, God gave you. Your breath, your smile, everything that you have has been given to you by God. So when you humble yourself in Him, when you rely you rely on Him, God will surely make sure that you always have what you have, because He knows that other people depend on you for that. And when you give in humility, you are even more blessed, because you realize, or you acknowledge the fact that whatever you have has only been borrowed. It is not something that you can boast about. We also give, number 4, we also give because the kingdom is important. It is very important to give in the kingdom of God. It is very important to give in order to contribute to the kingdom of God. When you give in church, for example, they need a roof. For example, they need to build a roof of the church because of some storm or some rainy weather, that the roof of the church has been leaking. When you give towards that, you are also giving towards God's kingdom. When you give to people that are sleeping outside, for example, the homeless, when you contribute to charity works, you are also giving for the kingdom of God. So always put that in mind. Whenever you give in order to help the kingdom of God in this physical world, in this world that we live in, you are following God's instruction as well. And lastly, number 5, we give because it unlocks miracles. I don't know if you have heard throughout this video, I've been talking about obeying instruction and all of that. Remember, when you give, it unlocks miracles. Sometimes you might give someone your last cent, but when your heart tells you to give, I am telling you, when you give that last cent to somebody, God will surely make sure that it comes through for you. God will surely make sure that it blesses you 1,000-fold. God will surely make sure that it blesses you beyond your imagination. Let's think about Abraham. God asked him to sacrifice his only son. Can you imagine? They're asking you to give away your only son. When you did it in obedience, when you followed God's instruction, today we know him as the Father of faith. Wow, what a blessing. And when we read more on that, when we read more in the Bible, we get to know that he's also one of the blessed men and one of the blessed men that has ever walked this earth. The number one, it is important to give because God says so. Number two, you are giving because you are obedience to God, you are obedience to his word. And number three, you are giving out of humility and reliance. Okay, you are giving out of humility and reliance. And number four, you are giving because of you want to see the kingdom of God grow. You are giving as a contributor into building the kingdom of God. And the last one, because we know that it unlocks miracles. So God bless you for watching this video and remain blessed. And remember, keep giving, 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 giving. Bye bye.